Our Old Testament reading for January the 16th, 2022 comes at the end of the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, 1 through 5. Isaiah has already described the punishment of the Lord upon the people, their exile into Babylon, the promise that one day God would bring them back home. And he ends with one day, the land that has been devastated, the land that they had to leave to the oppressors, watched destroyed, what was considered forsaken and desolate, will be renamed and reclaimed by God, will be restored as the promised land, and that land will be called, "My delight is in her, and your land is married, Beulah land and Zion." Names are important throughout the Old Testament book of Genesis, the book of beginnings, literally. It tells us how people and places got their name, how Abram became Abraham, how Sarai became Sarah, how Isaac received his name, the reason behind Jacob and Esau, and how he became Israel. All of the names are important and they have meaning behind them. And so when a big event happens, it will say, and that is why this place is called, for it means. And you'll see that description all throughout Genesis and even into Exodus. And then by Numbers and Deuteronomy, all the names have been established. So this idea of naming, the very first thing that God does after humanity is created, is all the animals are called together so that we might give them a name. Somehow by naming something, you claim it. And it changes the purpose of the thing that is named. Naming is an old tradition. My wife, when we got married, took my last name. Suddenly I was no longer Mark, I was Mr. Brechin. When we had children, I became Dad. Someday I may be Granddad. Names, titles, change the way we look at ourselves and the way others look at us as well. In the story of Exodus, while Moses was going and the people were rebelling, God went over and called Moses and said, "Moses, let's just start over. I can wipe these people out. Just like I gave Abraham generations, I can give you generations as well. We can start over. Do you really want to keep dealing with these people?" And Moses said, "What will happen to your name among the peoples if word gets out that the people that you claimed and you delivered were destroyed in the desert? For the sake of your name, change your mind, I beg of you." And God changed his mind, and Moses went back down. The people really didn't know how close they were and how much Moses did for them. Later on in the New Testament, Jesus will rename Simon to become Peter. Saul will become Paul. And we will be claimed in the name of Jesus. And it will be said that all who call on the name of Jesus will be saved. There's something in that name. It says that God has your name written in the palm of God's hand. Of course, Shakespeare says, "What's in a name? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet." But spiritually, when we think about names, names signify the way we want to view ourselves and the way we want others to view us. Names claim a purpose and a direction. So those who were considered in the land of the forsaken are now considered married, claimed, joined together, not just in a legal covenant, but in a marital relationship. Those whose land was declared desolate is now declared as my delight. The promise of a new name is the promise of a new life and new direction.